Our story begins in the very heart of Ofa village, nestled beside the serpentine banks of River Oba, a place where life moved to the rhythm of the sun and the seasons. Ofa was known for its fertile lands, its skilled weavers, and its strong sense of community. Everyone there knew their roles, each one with a purpose, and each purpose was a thread in the great fabric that bound the village together. A place in the intricate dance of village life. Among them was a young boy named Kwesi. This is the tale of a humble goat, a quiet boy, and a secret that would ultimately change the destiny of an entire village. This is the legend of Nana, the talking goat, and the boy who learned to listen with more than just his ears. This is a story of unexpected wisdom, humility, and the extraordinary power of an unheard voice that rang softly yet effectively in the heart of Africa, the western region where the land breathes ancient stories and the wind whispers forgotten truths. A place where the existence of magic was overlooked. It's not the magic of spells or grand enchantments, but the quiet power woven into the fabric of daily life, into the rhythm of the seasons, and into the wisdom passed down through generations. Here, animals are not merely creatures of the wild, they are often keepers of secrets, guides, and sometimes, even speakers of profound truths. Kwesi was not the strongest boy in Ofa, nor the fastest, nor the loudest. He was often overshadowed by his more boisterous peers. While other boys honed their hunting skills or boasted of their strength, Kwesi preferred the quiet companionship of the village animals, or long hours spent observing the intricate patterns of the forest, the flow of the river, and the subtle changes in the sky. He was observant, gentle, and possessed a quiet patience that many mistook for shyness or lack of spirit. His family, like many in Ofa, relied on their small flock of goats for milk and occasional meat. Kwesi was often tasked with their care, a chore many found tedious. But for Kwesi, it was a source of calm. He knew each goat by its bleat, its gait, its temperament. He would talk to them, sharing his thoughts and worries, knowing they could not reply, yet feeling a deep connection. It was this gentle nature that set the stage for the extraordinary. One particularly fierce season, a torrential storm swept through the valley. The river Oba swelled, and the winds howled like spirits unleashed. After the storm subsided, as the village began to assess the damage, Kwesi ventured to the edge of the forest, seeking out lost members of his flock. There, huddled beneath a fallen baobab, he found her. A goat, smaller than the rest, with a coat the color of aged parchment and eyes that seemed to know lots of wisdom. She was weak, almost lifeless. As he walked, Kwesi wondered about the goat's origins and the story behind her wise, ancient eyes. He knew that with proper care and nourishment, this small, resilient creature might yet recover and thrive. Kwesi's thoughts turned to the village elder's wisdom. In caring for the smallest creatures, we find strength and compassion. The goat's fate was now intertwined with Kwesi's, and together, they would face the challenges ahead, bound by the threads of kindness and compassion. Kwesi brought the frail creature home, against his father's advice who saw little hope for it. He named her Nana, a term of respect for an elder or a chief, for there was something undeniably ancient in her gaze. Day after day, Kwesi nursed Nana back to health, sharing his own meager rations, speaking to her softly as he always did to his animals. He noticed, however, that Nana was different. She would follow his gaze, understand his unspoken intentions, and sometimes, when he spoke to her, her ears would twitch, and her eyes would flicker as if she almost understood. Then, one sun-drenched afternoon, as Kwesi lamented to Nana about a particularly stubborn root he couldn't dislodge in the family yam patch, a low, resonant sound, almost like the rustle of dry leaves, wafted towards him. It wasn't a bleat. It was a murmur. Kwesi looked around, bewildered. Was it the wind? He dismissed it, continued to struggle. Again, the sound. Try the stone by your left foot, young one. Its weight will aid your purpose. Kwesi froze. The words were clear, ancient, and undeniably from Nana. His heart pounded like a drum. He tried the stone. The root dislodged. He stared at Nana, who simply blinked, her ancient eyes holding a knowing glint. The impossible had happened. His goat, Nana, could speak. And so began a secret, a bond unlike any other, between a quiet boy and a wise, old goat. Kwesi was sworn to secrecy. Nana explained that her voice was a gift, given only to those with a truly listening heart, and that its public revelation would bring chaos. Her purpose was to share ancient wisdom, not to be a spectacle. So, Kwesi became Nana's hidden conduit, and through her, he gained access to insights that transcended his young years. Ofa village, like all communities, faced its share of trials. A severe drought began to grip the land, turning once fertile fields into cracked earth. The well springs began to dwindle, and the river, once a giver of life, became a sluggish serpent. Anxiety rippled through the village. The elders, respected for their years, consulted the spirits, performed rituals, but the rains did not come. Kwesi, despairing, went to Nana. "The people are afraid, Nana. The land is dying." Nana calmly chewed her cud. "The deepest roots find water where the surface remains dry, young one. Seek where the earth sighs, not where it weeps." Kwesi pondered her words. Where the earth sighs. He remembered a hidden gully, often overlooked, where the earth felt cooler, the air slightly different. He quietly suggested to the elders, "Perhaps we have only looked where we expected water to be. What of the old path, near the whispering reeds, where the earth has always felt cool?" Skeptical but desperate, the elders followed. And there, hidden beneath a thin layer of hardened soil, they found a forgotten, ancient spring, trickling steadily. The village rejoiced, not fully understanding Kwesi's sudden insight, but grateful for the respite. As more challenges arose, a dispute over ancestral land that threatened to divide families, a mysterious ailment afflicting the children, Kwesi continued to seek Nana's counsel. Her advice was never a direct command, but always a riddle, a proverb, a subtle nudge towards a forgotten truth or a natural solution. A crooked path may lead to a straight heart, if both walk with intention, Nana once whispered, guiding Kwesi to propose a compromise that satisfied both parties in a land dispute, focusing on shared resources rather than rigid boundaries. His quiet observations, now imbued with Nana's ancient wisdom, allowed him to see solutions others missed. Slowly, subtly, Kwesi's reputation in Ofa began to change. He was no longer just the quiet boy who tended goats. He was becoming Kwesi the wise, the one who saw things differently, whose gentle suggestions often yielded astonishing results. The elders, though curious, attributed his wisdom to his patient nature and perhaps a blessing from the ancestors. Kwesi, humble as ever, simply smiled, a secret shining in his eyes, knowing the true source of his burgeoning wisdom rested in the unassuming form of an old goat named Nana. The greatest test of Kwesi's newfound wisdom, and indeed, Nana's influence, arrived with a prolonged and unforgiving drought. It was unlike any the oldest villagers had seen. The wells ran dry, the river Oba became a sandy track, and the baobab trees themselves seemed to droop in despair. Famine loomed, and the very existence of Ofa village was threatened. Panic began to spread, and the unity of the village frayed under the relentless sun. The chief, a man of great pride and tradition, called a grand council. Elders, warriors, and family heads gathered, their faces etched with worry. Everyone offered prayers, sacrificed chickens, but no rain fell. The chief, observing Kwesi's quiet confidence even amidst the despair, though still unaware of its source, decided to issue a challenge. "Kwesi," he boomed, "you have shown great wisdom in small matters. Now, the village faces its end. If you truly possess the ancestors' favor, show us the way to water, or we may all perish." Kwesi felt the immense weight of the village's hope and doubt. He retreated to Nana, his heart heavy. "Nana," he whispered, "the chief has challenged me. How can I find water when all the obvious sources are gone? How can I prove this wisdom without revealing you?" Nana looked at him with her ancient eyes. "The mountain spirit weeps for us, young one. Its tears flow beneath the sleeping giants. Listen for the rumbling hunger of the deep earth, not the thirst of the surface." Kwesi pondered the words. The sleeping giants were the sacred mountains that flanked the valley, usually avoided by villagers due to ancient taboos and rugged terrain. The rumbling hunger of the deep earth. He remembered how, sometimes, a faint tremor could be felt when the land was truly dry. He went to the base of the mountains, to a desolate, rocky outcrop where no one would normally seek water. He knelt, pressing his ear to the sun-baked ground, feeling for the faintest vibration. He observed the subtle shifts in the ancient rocks, the way certain hardy plants still clung to life in crevices. He used a knowledge of the land, sharpened by Nana's words, to discern the unseen. He pointed to a seemingly unremarkable spot. "Here, chief. I believe the mountain spirit weeps here. The water is deep, hidden beneath the rock." The elders grumbled, initially reluctant to desecrate the sacred mountain with digging. But the chief, seeing the conviction in Kwesi's eyes, gave the order. They dug, for hours, under the scorching sun, through layers of stubborn rock. Just as hope began to fade and murmurs of doubt turned to open complaints, a glint of moisture appeared. Then, a steady trickle. And finally, a clear, cool stream of water, gushing from deep within the earth, a hidden artery of the mountain itself. The village erupted in joyous cheers, the sound echoing through the valley. The life-giving water from the mountain brought prosperity to Ofa village, transforming it into a thriving oasis. Kwesi, once revered as Kwesi the Wise, now stood tall as a visionary leader, blessed by the ancestors and deeply respected by his people. His name became synonymous with wisdom, courage, and selflessness. Under Kwesi's guidance, Ofa village flourished, becoming a beacon of hope and prosperity in the region. The villagers lived in harmony with nature, and their lives were filled with purpose and meaning. Kwesi's leadership had brought about a new era of peace, prosperity, and growth, and the villagers looked forward to a brighter future, grateful for the blessing of their wise and compassionate leader. He never revealed his secret. The talking goat, Nana, remained his silent confidant, her ancient eyes holding the knowledge of the world, her voice a private echo for the boy who had learned to truly listen. And so, the legend of Nana, the talking goat, became a cherished folktale, though few outside of Kwesi ever truly knew the full truth. The story spread through Ofa, subtly woven into the fabric of their beliefs. It taught them to look beyond the obvious, to listen to the quiet voices, and to seek wisdom in the most unexpected places. Kwesi grew into a revered elder, his leadership marked by innovative solutions and a deep respect for the natural world, all subtly guided by the whispering horn of his extraordinary companion. They say if you ever find yourself walking near the whispering reeds by the river Oba, lean in close, listen well, and you just might hear the echoes of a voice, ancient, soft, and wise, still murmuring secrets through the horn of a humble goat. The tale of Nana and Kwesi reminds us that wisdom can emerge from the most humble of sources, that true listening requires an open heart, and that sometimes, the most profound changes in history are sparked not by thunderous pronouncements, but by the quiet, unheard voice of truth. And so the magic continues, in the heart of Africa, where every rustle of leaves, every babble of a stream, carries a whisper of ancient knowledge, waiting for a listening ear.